In this lesson, we will learn how to rig facial expressions with the Morpher modifier. The Morpher modifier is used to change the shape of geometry, and then it allows us to animate that change. Let's go ahead and press F3 to take a look at our character in shaded mode. So the beautiful thing about this modifier is that we can use it to create signature facial shapes. A lot of times you might find that a facial rig is a mixture of bone base and morph base rigging, where bones are used to get most of the facial expressions we need, but if we need very specific expressions, we could always go ahead and work with those morph targets. So what we'll do is go ahead and learn how to work with the Morpher modifier to create a smile for our imp. It looks kind of grumpy. Alright, so let's say we get started by heading over to Tools, and we'll now grab our Layer Manager and unfreeze our model. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the model. With it selected, you can see it's high res. Well, remember, in level 1 we have set up a smoothing parameter. So what we can do is go ahead and grab our global control and zero out the smoothing value so we can go ahead and set our character back to low res. Alright, great. So from here what we need to do is make sure our character is in its skin pose, which it should be. Let's make sure we have him right here in this T stance, because what we don't want is for our morph target to cause our skin to slide slightly when we apply it. Now, with the character still selected, let's go ahead and clone it. We'll press Ctrl V, and we can go ahead and rename this to MRP underscore imp body 01. So simply morph imp body 01. We'll now go ahead and choose OK. And now, let's say we go ahead and start moving this mesh over, because this is the mesh that we'll want to sculpt. Now, if we were to grab our move tool and start moving this, you'll see that it has the skin modifier still, so you might notice that the mesh will pop back once we start moving our control. Alright, so what we'll want to do then, let's go ahead and grab that mesh again. So we'll want to go ahead and remove all of these nodes here. So we'll get rid of the turbo smooth, and we'll also get rid of the skin node. And you'll see that it will now shift back to wherever we have moved it. Alright, great. So we'll go ahead and just move this over a little bit more. So now what we can do is go ahead and sculpt that smile. And it's great that we have access to soft selection, so we can go ahead and sculpt this very quickly. Let's go ahead and grab our vertex of object level, and we'll grab a point on either side of the mouth. Alright, next, let's go ahead and turn on soft selection. Okay, so right now I have it at about a value of 20 for the fall off. Let's go ahead and see how much control we get here. So we'll start to go ahead and bring up the mouth. That looks pretty good. And then we can go ahead and add some rotation to curve the smile. Alright, very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit our vertex of object level, and we'll deselect to take a look at what we have sculpted. Great. So now it's time to apply this as a morph target. So here's what we need to do. We'll go ahead and grab our mesh, the original mesh. Underneath our modifier list, we'll press the M key until we find the Morpher modifier. There it is. So take a look. We have all of these slots that we can use to add targets. Now, what I like to do in the first slot is make sure that it stores the state of the original mesh. So we always can get back to this. So here's how we do this. Scrolling down, we'll go ahead and we'll find Capture Current State. Let's go ahead and name this Base, so we know that this is our base mesh, and we'll choose Accept. Alright, so now that is the first channel. So now what we need to do is go ahead and add our target in the second channel. So we'll go ahead and click on Empty. We'll now right click and choose Pick from Scene. Let's go ahead and grab our mesh. So take a look, it has been applied. I'd also like to point out that at the very top you see this channel color legend. This lets you know what each color represents. So right now we have morph data on that channel. Alright, very nice. Let's go ahead and minimize the rollout. And we can go ahead and start to work with our shape by simply increasing the weight. So there we have it, a nice little smile. Now you can see here that the eyes kind of interpenetrate. Well, the beautiful thing about this modifier is that we can always go back to our target and we can sculpt that to fix issues like this. So let's go to our vertex of object level. We'll go ahead and grab points on either side of the eyes. And then from here, we might want to drop our fall off a little bit more. So let's go ahead and start to drop that value down a bit, maybe to about 10. I'll go ahead and grab the scale tool, just pressing the R key. We'll go ahead and just scale out our points a bit more. Now you'll see that it doesn't quite look like it updates, but it will update once we start to work with the parameter. If you would like a more faster update, you could always go ahead and scroll down until you find automatically reload targets. All right, so now you'll see the update instantly. All right, great. So it looks like that has fixed our problem. Let's go ahead and test out the smile again. We'll start to use our slider, and there we have it. Very nice. Okay, so there we have it. We've learned how to create a morph target. Now we're not quite finished yet. Let's go ahead and grab our control and start moving it around. Now, let's go back to the character's face and start working with our morph target. You'll see that we slide back to our T-stance. Why is that? That's because this morph modifier is being evaluated in the wrong order. We need to make sure that it's evaluated before our skin. So 3ds Max will first read the results of this modifier and then our skin. So if we were to go ahead and take this and slide that so it's between the skin and our edit poly, now you'll see that we're able to control our target and we're able to still move our rig. All right, super cool. I'll go ahead and grab that arm control. I'll right click and use transform to 0 to bring it back. Very nice. So now that we have sculpted this really cool smile, it's kind of making me smile now. Let's say we go ahead and move to the next lesson and we'll learn how to control this in a more animator-friendly kind of way. And I'll also go ahead and talk to you a little bit more about what happens with these target objects when we remove them.